I'm Catherine. I'm a physiotherapist at Territory Sports Med, and I'm working with the under 16s and under 23s academies here with the cricket players. The following exercises are core and glute and control exercises that aim to minimise risk of injury and improve strength. There's varying levels for each exercises. The level you do will depend on the outcomes of your screening. If you're unsure of what level to do, have a chat to us, the physios. The first exercise is a core exercise, which aims to improve the strength around your tummy muscles and support your low back. The most important thing about this exercise is the position your back is in. Aim to have it close to the ground. Make sure your low back doesn't arch up as you do these exercises. You should never feel pain in your back when you are doing these. The level 1 of this exercise involves lifting both knees up and both hands up to the ceiling and simply holding this position, trying to keep your back as stable as possible. Level 2 involves extending one leg at a time and returning up towards that position, maintaining the position of your back. Make sure it's still not arching up as you go. To make this harder again and move on to level 3, it's a double leg extension. So extending both legs at once and drawing them back in, all while keeping your back nice and stable. Next up, we're going to move into a plank. So have a relax there, roll over onto your tummy and starting off with a level 1 plank on your knees. So in your plank position, there should be a straight line between your knees, hips, shoulders and head. You shouldn't be dropping your low back down to arch it or pushing your bottom up. To make this harder and move on to level 2, push up onto your toes. In this position, you should still be able to stay very straight through your core, your glutes, and your knees. To make this harder again and move on to level 3, lift one foot up at a time, bring it back down, and change to the other side, all while keeping your hips and core stable. Next up is a side plank. So rolling over onto your side. To start off at level 1 for this exercise, simply push up onto your knees, creating a straight line with your knees, hips and shoulders. Make sure your hip isn't dropping down towards the floor or pushing up too high. To make this harder, move on to level 2 with your legs out straight and lift your hips up again. Again, make sure that your body is in a straight line and you're not dropping down, lifting up or rotating through your shoulders. To move on to level 3, simply lift that top leg up and come back down, all while staying as stable as possible. Next up is a glute bridge. So rolling over onto your back with your feet flat and your knees bent. Try and keep your spine as stable as possible, so pressing it nice and flat against the floor, and then pressing down through your heels, lifting your hips straight up and come back down. So that's your level 1 exercise. To make this harder and move on to level 2, lift your hips up and extend one leg out, bring it back down and bring your hips down, alternating sides. To make this harder again, straighten one leg out while your back is still down on the mat and then press down through your heel to lift the hips up, staying stable through your hips and come back down. Next up, we're going to move on to some band work in an effort to improve strength and further reduce injury risk. So starting with some rotator cuff strengthening. Keeping your elbow tucked into your side, try and rotate that arm outwards with the band, keeping your shoulder blade set back and controlling the movement in both directions. To make this harder, turn your body so you're facing where the band is attached. Lift your elbow out to 90 degrees so it's at a right angle with your body, keeping your elbow at the same height, rotating that arm outwards and controlling the movement back down. Next up, you're going to move the band so it's a little bit higher and work on a chopper movement. So starting off with your hands up high, rotating your trunk and hips as you draw your arms down towards the floor. Keeping your arms straight trying to use your core muscles and your tummy muscles to control the movement. Once you've done a couple, move the band nice and low, and you're going to do the same movement, but starting low and pulling high. Keep your arms straight and use your core to stabilize the movement. After you've done that, come over towards the fence and pop one foot around the band. Hold onto the fence if you need to, and you're going to push your leg out to the side, trying to stabilize again through your tummy muscles. As you get stronger, try without holding on to the fence. As this gets easier, increase the resistance on the band, going for darker colors like blue, or step away from the wall. Then spin around to face the other way, and you're going to pull the band inwards across your body, holding on if you need. As this gets easier, you can let go of the fence or the wall and move on to a harder band or step away from the wall. Moving on, stand on one foot with your band looped around the other, lift the leg out to the side and draw it in towards your standing foot. This is a real challenge for your balance, so use a bat if you need to, or hold onto a wall or fence nearby. That concludes your strength and control exercises. If you have any questions about these exercises or injury concerns, don't hesitate to get in touch with us at Territory Sports Med, and we'll help you out as much as we can.